that's a fun little opener. And, you know, it's hard to think about holiday music for us as brass players without the need to travel back in time and pay homage to an incredible Italian composer by the name of Giovanni Gabrieli. When you hear a lot of the motifs and ideas in carols that you love and songs, especially during the holiday season, every one of them has their roots in these early, what are called polyphonic composers. And Gabrieli wrote in the St. Mark's Cathedral in Venice, Italy. And we're going to play a couple of his pieces here, which, while not distinctly tied to the holidays, absolutely find their root, or out of their roots springs much of the music we enjoy today. So without any further ado, this is two probably roughly 3-minute long pieces by Giovanni Gabrieli. We're talking about, I guess, probably the mid-1600s or so these were written. And we're going to do his Canzone per Sonare, number 1 and number 4. To let our lips rest a minute before we play the second one. Did you know, I wrote down some really interesting stuff when I was kind of preparing the music for this concert. Finland especially has paved the way in studying and deciphering the ways that music is good for the health. And I wrote down some really interesting stuff. Did you know that as you sit here today enjoying this music, your blood pressure is being lowered? Hearing these overtones is actually very stimulating for the brain. They have found that listening to music, especially the live music, the overtones that happen when we match our instruments in chords, helps the heart, speeds stroke recovery, and boost the immune system. They have found that the overtones that happen when we balance a chord on our brass instruments have helped children with epileptic seizures and things like that. And then, in a little bit, I'm going to try to get everybody to do a little singing. Singing together is profoundly helpful. It synchronizes our heartbeats and many other biological factors. So I just want to throw that out there, that as we, and it's not just you receiving the gift. Everybody in this room today is receiving the gift of music that has nothing to do with us individually, but just that shows the power of music. So we're going to continue with some more Gabrielli. Thank you so much. Well, I want to pass the mic around real quick just to give these guys a chance. When you look up here and you see 4 trumpet players, it's hard for us to describe the lifestyle we have, but we are the trumpet players that you hear on any given night when you go hear the Boston Ballet or the Boston Pops or several regional orchestras all over New England. We did not get together to rehearse this concert, and so in a sense we're using our knowledge. All of us know this music, but when we come together, we're experiencing this today for the first time as well, other than a brief rehearsal upstairs. You may not be clapping in a minute. We just spent our best 3 tunes. No, we have more coming. But I just want to explain that as a way to just kind of be real, to share our authentic self. We love to get together. So in each moment, we are enjoying an interrelation with each other musically that is profound. And if we were in a room alone, it wouldn't make any sense. So you are part of that whole circuitry. I just want to let the guys introduce themselves and maybe briefly explain what it is that drew them to play the trumpet. My name's Mark, and frankly, I asked my dad for a saxophone. He went to the music shop, and trumpets were on sale for rental, and that literally is what got me started playing the trumpet. So I'm going to pass the mic real quick to Andrew.
Hi everybody, I'm Andrew. I'm actually in the exact same boat as Mark is. I asked my band teacher to play the trumpet, or the saxophone, And he said, I'm sorry, we have too many saxophones, so we're going to give you a trumpet. And then to add insult to injury, they were out of trumpets, so they gave me a cornet. And I was devastated. But after about a year or so, I got a trumpet, and I've been playing ever since. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
My name's Dana, and I actually started on piano. And I wasn't really crazy about piano. But Mrs. Breed, my teacher, made really good fudge. All I had to do was get through the lesson without falling off the piano bench. And she would say, okay, you can go see what's in the refrigerator. I think I hung in there for about 6 months on piano. What brought me to the trumpet in 1971, Louis Armstrong was on the cover of Time magazine. And I was in 5th, 6th grade, something like that, about the time we started playing instruments. And he looked like he was having an awful good time. And I thought, I want to do that too. And it is a good time, most of the time.
Thanks, Dave.
Hi, my name is Adam, and I'm from Texas, and now living in Boston. And let's talk to Texas. When I was 8 years old, my dad's a pilot, and so he was gone flying a lot. And when I was 8 years old, I was playing hide and go seek, and I was hiding behind this little air conditioner thing, and I found this box. And I eventually bring it back to my room like an 8-year-old would, and I open it up, and it's my dad's trumpet. It's this trumpet, actually. He was lucky, he was in New York, and his dad bought him a trumpet, and he played a long time ago. And there's only 2 parts to it. There's a mouthpiece and a trumpet. So I eventually figured out how to put it together. And then I just kind of started playing. And at the time, my sisters were both ballerinas, so it was a lot of Nutcracker and a lot of Swan Lake that I was listening to. But when I would go, since I'd heard so many of them, I would bring my cassette and listen to the Star Wars theme music. So the first thing that I played was actually Star Wars, and then it was Nutcracker things on my trumpet because that was all I was listening to and trying to do it by ear. But that really brought me to the trumpet, and then I've been doing it ever since. But can we have a raise of hands for everybody here that's played music or sung or done something musical? Just a few. So what's great is, I want to ask again in a second. So we wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for people listening to music and if it wasn't for getting to share this experience. So it's really great that we get to play for people that aren't just musicians and really just enjoy music. So how about a raise of hands for everyone that listens to the radio or listens to music? So thank you so much for being supporters of the arts and really being here for us, because we love to play for you guys.
Well, we're going to move right along with a nice medley. A medley is different than a melody. It's a collection of songs strung together by a little bit of connective material, and this is a wonderful Christmas medley. thanks for singing. You know, hold those voices because you're going to get your chance here in a little bit. Well, you know, one of the reasons why you can't have 4 trumpets show up somewhere and play Christmas music straight for an hour is that there's just not enough of it. So it's important to mix in a little bit of other music that represents, however, many of the same feelings and the same, you know, sonic sounds that some of our favorite carols do. Who has heard of George Philip Telemann, the composer? Telemann, anyone? Well, he lived in the you know, he wound up dying in the mid-1700s. Most of his output, I think, was in the first few decades of the 1700s. And he wrote a set of pieces that transcribe really well to trumpet. They're called heroic marches. And we're each going to kind of feature each of us will be featured in them. We're going to play a quick set of 5 heroic marches. The first one of these is called the Rejoicing, or La Réjouissance. The second of these is called L'Espérance. Anybody want to give us the definition? Hope. It's a song of hope. And on this you get to hear the beautiful, sultry tone of Dana. And he just said hopefully, so it's musically fitting. Okay. Well, I must confess, I hadn't planned on giving the translated titles to all these, and already I figured out why. I don't know what l'armement means. I'm going to choose to believe it doesn't mean take up your arms, because we don't need to hear that message around the holidays. But this, you're going to hear the beautiful tone of Adam down there, a little bit featured on the higher part of this l'armement.
Let's go, Adam.
Thank you.
Adam's already got fans out here. Nice job, Adam.
Thanks.
So we got two more of these Telemon heroic marches. You know, when he wrote these would originally be played by a string ensemble, and actually they would be used as entrance, probably not in big ceremonies, but within the court and the way that things operated. Everything but to welcome a guest, to enter in a dining party to a room. These had a tremendously functional use. And the next one is one of my favorites. It's called Generosity. And you know, there's no time of the holidays where generosity is more important, or no time like the holidays. And I just have a feeling that I'm sitting in front of some of the most generous people out there. So this is Generosity.
about a hand for Mark Emery's beautiful tone?
Yeah, don't get us going on trumpet jokes, by the way. We'll be here all afternoon. You know, we have one more of these, La Vaillance or Valence. Honestly, I'm not sure what the title means. So, what is it? Yeah, Valiance. Hey, listen to this guy. College educated over here. Andrew with the answer. I bet he's absolutely right. Valiant. So this will be our last set of these Telemon heroic marches. Thank you so much. What a wonderful set of faces out there. Just a lot of smiles, the colors of the season. It's so great to just be able to share this time with you all. And you know, I was looking online, you know, I read something really interesting, somebody talking about kind of the way Christmas used to be. And I was wondering, I just wanted to take a little poll. How many people happen to, I'm not doing any age guessing here at all, okay? This is all Google-fueled questions here. Remember the Queen's first Christmas broadcast in 1952. Does anybody have a recollection of that? The Queen of England. That was her first. It's a fair question. So
Maybe Eleanor Roosevelt.
I'm just going to consult my phone here because I jotted down something she wrote in 1952 that I thought was so appropriate for this day and age. And in some ways it gave me a little bit of sorrow to think that the Queen said this in 1952, and here we are still needing to hear these words. But in 1952, she was talking about the foundation of brotherhood among countries, and of course at that time they were expanding the empire. Her career would go on to see it disintegrate a little bit, but at the time she said, on this broad foundation, let us set out to build a truer knowledge of ourselves and our fellow men, to work for tolerance and understanding among the nations, and to use the tremendous forces of science and learning for the betterment of man's lot upon this earth. If we can do these three things with courage, with generosity, and with humility, then surely we shall achieve that peace on earth, goodwill towards men, which is the eternal message of Christmas and the desire of us all. And those are some great words, right? Well, and then that got me kind of looking further. I was thinking, you know, I'm just curious, how many people, you know, some of the top Christmas gifts around that time were a couple. I just wonder, how many people remember getting their first, or maybe getting someone their first Slinky? A Slinky? Come on, it's okay to admit it. Yeah, it was one of the number one gifts all the way through the mid-60s. I found that really interesting. What about the Susie Homemaker doll? He remembers that one. So, you know, it's just interesting to read about these times, and I just want to give one more quick excerpt, if that's okay, because this person was on a kind of a podcast talking about the way Christmas used to be, and I thought it might bring back some memories, because times really change, but certain aspects of the season do not. This man said, "You had, for the first few years, a nation still buying rationed food, and kids who got 6 of the best swats at school if they weren't performing. Families at Christmas time arrived by the train, not by the airplane. Christmas cards were sent, not like now just to make a gesture that you remember someone, but it was actually for the main form of communication. A note would often be attached, and rest assured it was not the only note you received during the year. In the evening, we would sit around the grand piano with the candelabra, and my grandmother would lead us in festive music. This was fun. She had once played the piano for the silent movies in a local cinema and could turn her hand to pretty much anything. While this was happening, the Yule log, having been sought out by the family, would gently blow itself away." I'm almost done, yes. But for those of you that are like, get on with the music. Okay. "Our presents were strewn across the room, and my sister and myself would look inquisitively at the shapes, wondering what we'd find in the morning. We'd venture up to bed and sit there for quite a while listening for sleigh bells. Of course, we always heard them, but looking back, I have to say they sounded remarkably similar to the doorbells in the kitchen. If we were very lucky, we might get 6 presents, just one from each of the immediate family. Through the decade, bearing in mind, we didn't get older so quickly then. I'd usually get a Rupert annual, an addition to Meccano set, and I recall the biggest present of all during my youth was the Brownie camera, a gift pack you can't imagine. For weeks after, you would go to bed and neatly stack your gifts next to your bed, always putting things in boxes, in constant fear of burglary, even by a sibling. Anyway, it was just fascinating to read about that and to realize that, you know, so much of tradition remains the same, but this day and age, here I am reading this off of my iPhone, and I downloaded it off the internet and all this stuff. But what I'd like to do is we're going to experiment with this, and guys, I don't think you'll need to use your mutes, with a little bit of singing. And I realized that I didn't print words, but I hope that you'll sing along to any part of this song that you do know. We're gonna do a little sing along / I guess me singing with these 3 accompanying for about 3 or 4 Christmas tunes. We'll see how it goes based on crowd appreciation. The volume of the applause is a big factor. Okay, so if we pull up "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear," guys, and give it a try. Yeah, I'll kind of we'll sing 2 and at least do the instrumental version. Remember in C. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Now just a second. This is the intro. Okay, here we go.
pressure. This is Dana. This one's Dana. Yeah.
Am I slacking?
This is Andrew over here, yeah. Now we're getting plenty of volume up in this general area, and maybe, you know, not enough volume from a couple pockets, so just know that we are monitoring the situation. If we have to stop and have a rehearsal, we are not afraid to do that. But let's go on and do a little bit of Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Yes. And don't sing during the intros. Singing, the voices are getting warmed up. Sounding good out there. And thank you for not leaving me all alone singing. So, anyway, there's a little town talked about this time of year. Oh, little town of Bethlehem. And I bet maybe people know at least the first couple verses of this. We'll do 2 verses. All right. Think about that first word. singing, everybody. I changed it from peace to men on earth to peace to all on earth. Seems
Yeah.
like more and more of that stuff like that's
sexism,
happening.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta modernize, right? You guys were up with it. All right, so one more sing-along tune, which you've actually already heard a little bit of, is "Joy to the World." Right. And let's just remember, once again, I'm really fascinated by it because I believe in it. I have a friend whose wife has Parkinson's disease, and when she joins her choir, there is a version of her that I've never seen anywhere else. Absolutely no symptoms. So let's just remember that our immune systems are being boosted. This is good for our minds. It's good to come together and get our mind away from just ourself and join something bigger than us. And certainly that's what us four are thinking about up here. So Joy to the World, we'll do a couple verses and an instrumental verse, okay? So, we are going to play a couple more tunes for you, and it's hard to, as a musician, at least to me, as you come up and are educated and stuff, there's a certain almost allegiance and profound reverence for Johann Sebastian Bach. Much of the harmonies and the little musical experiences that we've enjoyed today together come from his work at the organ bench and his profound sense of how voices can work together. And so we're going to play a little Bach Fugetta, which just means a little few. We'll go, until about 5. true pleasure to play music for you today. And, I feel like we can't slip out of here without mentioning that, trumpet players are strut their stuff in December. This is a good month to be a trumpet player. Everywhere you go, they're in the stores, in the markets, on the radio, and there's a certain animal that the trumpet gets asked to emulate every holiday season. Can anybody shout it out? Well, an elephant is possible, yeah. A chicken, yeah, Dana's got a chicken. So, there's this phenomenon that you hear occasionally, and I figure, we're just going to we don't normally give away the secret, but anybody ever heard this sound? Well, horse whinny, yeah. That is a trumpet, every year at this time, and we chuckle about the fact that, really what we do for a living is go, like it just happens that the trumpet makes us look good by the time it captures all that. But what we're doing when we do that is just pushing our valves halfway down, and before our very last tune, we'll give you a nice 4-trumpet horse whinny. There's nothing quite like it. How about that? But first, we're going to get back to some Christmas music with 6 Christmas quartets. Dana is like the king of Boston Ballet. If you have ever been to the Boston Ballet, you heard Dana Oakes playing the trumpet. And
I was dancing.
No, you could have danced now.
maybe you should have seen him up on the bocce court. He was amazing. But I'm actually curious. I don't know if he's ever done the math or whatever, but Dana, how many nutcrackers would you say you have played in your lifetime?
Enough to pay off a house.
Wow. So he thanks you. Yeah. No, that's just a cool thing about Dana. Is he's and we're going to finish actually with a little bit of the nutcracker. But anyway, I digress. Onward with our short little collection of Christmas quartets. What? Major. Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, sorry. before we get to our closing tune from the Nutcracker, we'll play Angels We Have Heard on High. Angels We Have Heard on High. It will be our second to the last song today. And we just want to reiterate what a pleasure, this right here in Revere, 2014. Here we got to all share this moment together. And we get as much out of it as you do. Believe me, it's to be able to share music and what we love to do with a bunch of beautiful smiling faces is a real privilege. And so on behalf of Adam, Dana, Andrew, and myself, thank you so much. Here's a couple tunes to close out, and it's been so wonderful to be here today. Angels We Have Heard, yeah, with Revere. Just for fun, let's give an indoor 4-trumpet horse whinny before I kick off and then we'll kick off our secret tune that you'll recognize on our tune. Oh, sorry. One thing before I do, I would be so remiss if I did not thank a very dear friend of mine. There's somebody that I've met in my life that is such a wonderful person. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, literally, because you all sang beautifully a little bit ago. And I see her almost every week downtown at St. Anthony's Shrine, and that is Lois Diamond. She gives, and she gives, and she gives some more. And that is just an amazing life that Lois has, and it's been wonderful to know you, Lois. So thanks for getting us over here.
On behalf of all the seniors, thank you. Adam, Andrew, Dana, Mark, in alphabetical order. Thank you very much. All right. So I also, while Bob is taping this for Revere TV, I want to thank Bob Dunbar who came down to tape this for us. And thank you, Lois, for putting us into contact with Mark. Thank you, Mr. Morris, as always.